LeBron always moved strange, not like Kobe. And when the Diddy stuff came out, I knew I was right all along. That's why I chose to mentor Kobe, not him.
There's a reason Michael Jordan has never welcomed LeBron James into his inner circle, and it has nothing to do with rings or stats. For over 2 decades, the greatest player to ever touch a basketball has kept LeBron at arm's length. No mentorship, no late-night phone calls, no brotherhood, and today you're going to find out exactly why. From the moment LeBron was crowned before he even stepped on an NBA court, to the controversial Diddy situation that made Jordan say, "I knew I was right all along." This story goes way deeper than basketball. By the end of this video, you'll understand why MJ chose Kobe Bryant as his successor and why LeBron never stood a chance. Let's get into it. If you know anything about Michael Jordan, you know the man lives and breathes competition. People don't just call him the greatest winner in NBA history for fun. They call him that because he didn't just want to beat you, he wanted to embarrass you. He wanted to break your spirit and make sure you never forgot who was in charge. That mentality doesn't just disappear when you hang up your sneakers, it stays with you. It shapes how you see the world and everyone trying to follow in your footsteps. So picture this, it's 2002 and Jordan is watching the media go absolutely crazy over some high school kid from Akron, Ohio. LeBron James hasn't played a single minute of NBA basketball yet, but Sports Illustrated already put him on the cover with the words, "The Chosen One" plastered across it. Journalists are writing articles saying this teenager might be the one to finally dethrone Michael Jordan. Think about how wild that is. LeBron is still in high school and the media is already comparing him to the guy with 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, and a sneaker brand that basically prints money. To most people, that probably looked like excitement for the future of basketball, but to Jordan, that was disrespect. That was someone trying to take what he spent his entire career building, because in Michael's mind, greatness isn't something you get handed on a magazine cover, you earn it through blood, sweat, and years of proving yourself when everyone doubts you. Jordan came into the league in 1984 and had to fight his way through the bad boy Pistons, who literally created a defensive system just to beat him up. He dealt with critics saying he shot too much and couldn't win the big one. He spent years getting his heart ripped out in the playoffs before finally breaking through. And even then, he had to win 6 championships before people stopped questioning him. So when the media crowned LeBron before he even started, Jordan saw it as everything wrong with the new generation. They wanted to skip the struggle and jump straight to legendary status. And if you think I'm exaggerating about how petty Jordan can be, just look at his Hall of Fame speech. The biggest night of his entire career, and instead of being grateful and humble, he used that stage to settle old scores.
Leroy Smith was a guy, when I got cut, he made the team, on the varsity team. But he started the whole process with me because when he made the team and I didn't, I wanted to prove not just to Leroy Smith, not just to myself, but to the coach who actually picked Leroy over me. I wanted to make sure you understood you made a mistake, dude.
He called out coaches who doubted him. He threw shade at players who talked trash. He even mentioned a guy named Leroy Smith who made the varsity team when Jordan got cut in high school. That's how Jordan operates. He never forgets, and he never forgives. So when the media made LeBron the heir to his throne, you better believe that went straight into his mental filing cabinet. Even LeBron knows the relationship is ice cold in 2025. He went on the Pat McAfee show and admitted straight up that he and Michael Jordan don't really have a relationship. Think about how crazy that is. LeBron grew up with Jordan posters on his wall. Michael was his hero, his inspiration. The reason he picked up a basketball, and after 20 years in the league, after becoming one of the greatest players ever, they still don't talk. Most legends get welcomed into the family. They get respect and guidance from the players who came before them. But LeBron, he got the cold shoulder. And the wildest part is that Jordan gave that bond to someone else. But here's where it gets even more complicated. This wasn't just about a magazine cover or some media hype. Jordan built something way bigger than basketball. He created the blueprint for what it means to be a global sports superstar. Before Michael Jordan, NBA players were famous, sure. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were huge in the 1980s and saved the league from disaster. But Jordan took it to another planet entirely. He didn't just play basketball, he became a brand, a culture, and a worldwide phenomenon. Think about the Air Jordan sneaker line. It's still the most popular shoe brand in the world. And Jordan retired over 20 years ago. Kids who weren't even born when he played are still buying Jordans. Gatorade ran those Be Like Mike commercials, and every kid in America was singing that song in the schoolyard. He starred in Space Jam and became a movie star. Every dunk contest, every game-winning shot, every championship celebration became part of a larger story that Jordan carefully controlled. He built the modern celebrity athlete long before Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok could make it easier. So when LeBron showed up with all that hype, it wasn't just about basketball stats. It was about protecting an empire. Jordan spent decades building his image, his brand, and his legacy. And when the media started saying LeBron could surpass him, Michael didn't hear praise for a talented rookie. He heard a threat to everything he created. Because here's another thing you need to understand about Jordan. The man is obsessed with legacy. Most players retire and move on with their lives. But not Michael. He still cares deeply about how people rank him. You can see it in every interview. Whenever someone suggests another player might be the greatest, he gets defensive. He'll bring up his perfect finals record. He'll remind you about the competition he faced. He'll subtly downplay other stars to make sure people remember who's really number one. During his playing days, if a young player tried to challenge him, Jordan destroyed them on the court. Remember when he dropped 55 points on rookie Allen Iverson after AI gave him a crossover? Or when he buried Clyde Drexler in the 1992 finals after people dared to compare them? That was his mentality. You don't get to share his space unless you prove yourself, and even then he'll remind you who's in charge. But with LeBron, their careers barely overlapped. Jordan was retiring right when LeBron entered the league. So Michael couldn't dominate him on the court. Instead, he drew the battle lines in the media and in his legacy. Every time someone asked him about LeBron, he gave cold, calculated responses. He'd acknowledge LeBron's talent, but always kept it distant. And whenever the conversation turned to successors, Jordan always brought it back to one name: Kobe Bryant. If there's one thing Michael Jordan made clear over the years, it's that Kobe was his true basketball heir, not LeBron. Kobe and Jordan were cut from the same cloth. They had the same killer instinct, the same obsessive work ethic, and the same ruthless mentality. Kobe wasn't trying to be liked, he was trying to be feared. He'd cut his own teammates out of the offense if it meant winning. He'd take 40 shots without thinking twice. He'd talk trash to opponents and make them hate him. That's exactly how Jordan played. Michael saw himself in Kobe in a way he never could with LeBron. LeBron's game has always been different. He's a pass-first superstar who wants to make the right basketball play. He'd rather find the open teammate than force a bad shot. To most fans, that's unselfish and smart, but to Jordan it looked soft. In his mind, the alpha dog takes the shot no matter what. The killer doesn't pass when the game is on the line. That difference in mentality created a gap that could never be bridged. And then there's the work ethic part. Kobe literally modeled his entire career after Michael Jordan. He studied his footwork, copied his fadeaway, and even mimicked his mannerisms. There are interviews where Kobe admitted he called Jordan at random hours of the night just to ask about moves, counters, and mental approaches to the game. LeBron idolized Jordan too, but he never chased his approval the same way. He wanted to be LeBron James, not the next Michael Jordan. He carved his own path, built his own brand, and created his own style of leadership. And because of that, the bond between him and Jordan never formed. There was no mentorship, no brotherhood, just respect from a distance. And when Kobe died in that tragic helicopter crash in 2020, the world saw just how deep that connection really was. Jordan's tribute at Kobe's memorial was raw and emotional.
You have to put up with the aggravation, the late night calls, or the dumb questions.
He called Kobe his little brother. He cried openly in front of millions of people. That wasn't a performance, that was real love. You don't cry like that unless you've shared something deep over many years. LeBron never got that from Jordan. There's no late night phone calls, no emotional bond, no big brother, little brother relationship. And if you listen closely to the silence between them, it says more than any interview ever could. Because here's the thing. In the NBA, passing the torch matters. It's tradition. It's how legends cement the next generation. Magic Johnson famously embraced Kobe when he entered the league and made a whole event out of it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar mentored Shaquille O'Neal and gave him his blessing as the next dominant big man. Bill Russell would show up to finals games just to hand over the trophy himself and show respect to players like Kobe and Kevin Garnett. That's how it's supposed to work. The old king crowns the new king, and everyone respects the lineage. But with Jordan and LeBron, there was nothing, no endorsement, no public praise, no warmth. LeBron spent his entire career trying to honor Michael and call him the greatest, but he got nothing back. And that absence shaped everything. Because when fans debate who's the greatest, they don't just look at stats, they look at validation. And the fact that Michael Jordan never gave LeBron his blessing speaks volumes. It became ammunition for every argument. If LeBron was really better than Jordan, why didn't Michael embrace him? And just when you thought the story couldn't get messier, the Diddy situation happened. You've probably seen that Instagram live clip where LeBron was talking with Diddy and said, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party." At the time, it seemed like a harmless joke, just two celebrities having fun. But when serious allegations and legal issues surrounding Diddy started coming out, that clip aged like milk.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Suddenly, it wasn't just a funny moment anymore. It became something people questioned. Let me give you the context. Diddy has been in major legal trouble. In 2025, he faced serious allegations from multiple people, including his ex-partner, Cassie Ventura, who accused him of abuse and coercion over many years. There were lawsuits and accusations spanning over a decade. This wasn't just gossip. These were real legal battles that put Diddy's entire image under a microscope. And when that Instagram clip of LeBron resurfaced, people started asking questions. Why was LeBron so close to someone like that? What did he know? Was he involved in anything? Now, to be clear, there's no evidence LeBron did anything wrong, but in the court of public opinion, association matters. And when Michael Jordan was asked about it, he didn't hold back. He said something that sent shockwaves through the internet. He said LeBron always moves strange, not like Kobe. And when the Diddy stuff came out, he knew he was right all along. That's a direct shot. Jordan wasn't gossiping, he was confirming what he had felt for years. That LeBron's off-court choices and associations didn't match the discipline and image control that Jordan valued. You have to remember who Michael Jordan is. Every move he made during his career was calculated. He built a squeaky clean image. He avoided controversy. He stayed focused on basketball and business. Even when people criticized him for not being more politically active, he stuck to his lane. He famously said, "Republicans buy sneakers too." That's how strategic he was. So when he saw LeBron casually hanging out with someone like Diddy, making jokes on Instagram Live, it probably confirmed every suspicion he had that LeBron didn't move like a champion should, that he was too loose, too careless, and too willing to risk his image for temporary fun. And the internet ran wild with it. Memes flooded social media, fans turned it into proof that LeBron wasn't disciplined like Kobe, that he didn't deserve Jordan's respect, whether fair or not, the damage was done. Jordan's cold shoulder suddenly looked justified. And for LeBron, who spent 20 years trying to earn that respect, it had to sting. Because when the greatest player ever looks at you and says, "You don't move right," that's not something you can just brush off. But here's the thing, this kind of tension isn't new in the NBA. The league has always thrived on drama, rivalries, and personal beefs. Honestly, half of basketball history is just a highlight reel of players hating each other. And fans love it. Think about Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. That rivalry wasn't just about basketball, it was a cultural war. East Coast versus Midwest. Showtime Lakers versus Boston Grit. They couldn't stand each other during their playing days, even though they became friends later. Or look at Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan. That beef was vicious. The Pistons created the Jordan rules, which was basically a strategy to beat Jordan up every time he touched the ball. And to this day, Michael hasn't forgiven Isaiah. He said it with his whole chest in the Last Dance documentary. Decades later, the hatred is still there. Then you've got Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. Two teammates winning championships together, but they couldn't stand each other. They threw shots in interviews and even took their beef to rap songs. But you know what? That tension made their story legendary. People don't just remember the rings, they remember the drama. So when people say Jordan doesn't mess with LeBron, it's not shocking. Beef is baked into the DNA of the NBA. Fans expect it, the media fuels it, and players secretly know it adds to their legend. NBA beefs are just like rap beefs or celebrity feuds. They're always personal, even when they look professional. Rappers diss each other over beats, but deep down, it's about respect and ego. Celebrities subtweet each other and drop shade in interviews. The NBA has just been doing it longer and louder, and the fans eat it up. Every cold quote from Jordan gets picked apart. Every time LeBron praises Michael and doesn't get the same energy back, it becomes a meme. Every rumor adds fuel to the fire. Drama fuels legacy. Legacy fuels debates. And debates fuel the NBA machine. Honestly, if the NBA didn't have beefs, it would just be boring. Nobody's watching a documentary called Everyone Got Along and Played Nicely. We want the messy stuff, we want the tension, the rivalries, and the unspoken grudges. And in this case, the messy stuff has real consequences because Jordan's favoritism toward Kobe over LeBron didn't just stay in locker rooms and interviews, it shaped how millions of fans see the greatest of all time debate today. Here's the reality in the NBA, the blessing of the previous king matters. It's like getting crowned. Once the legend passes the torch, it cements your status in history. That's exactly what Kobe got. Jordan's mentorship made him the chosen heir in a way no magazine cover ever could. Fans saw Kobe as the guy carrying Jordan's torch, not because the media said so, but because Michael himself showed it. He taught him moves, he praised him publicly, he cried at his memorial. That endorsement made Kobe untouchable in the greatest of all time conversation for a lot of people. LeBron never got that, and that absence shaped everything. Every time the media tries to crown LeBron, critics pull out the same card. If he's really the greatest, why didn't Jordan embrace him? Why didn't the previous king pass him the torch? And yet, here's the twist. LeBron's career is so ridiculous that he might be breaking through anyway. We're talking about over 20 years at the highest level, 4 championships with 3 different teams, the all-time scoring record, 10 finals appearances, and he's still playing at age 40. Nobody has ever stretched dominance this far. Nobody. So, now, the lack of Jordan's blessing doesn't kill the debate, it fuels it. That's what drives the conversation today. On one side, you've got the Jordan loyalists saying, if Michael never passed him the torch, it means something. He saw something we didn't. On the other side, you've got LeBron fans pointing to the numbers, the longevity, and the consistency, saying he's rewriting the rules, whether Jordan likes it or not, and in a way that's Michael's worst nightmare. The idea that someone could take the throne without his permission, that someone could become the greatest ever without his approval, that his opinion might not matter as much as he thought it did. When you look back at this entire story, it's actually pretty simple. Michael Jordan built the throne. He created the blueprint that every superstar chases today, and when it came time to choose a successor, he made it crystal clear. It wasn't LeBron James, it was Kobe Bryant, and that choice has shaped the greatest of all-time debate for over 2 decades. Because it was never just about basketball, it was about pride, legacy, and the one thing Jordan never gave LeBron: validation. And that's the story. Michael Jordan's cold shoulder toward LeBron James wasn't random. It wasn't just personality differences or basketball styles. It was calculated. It was personal. And it sent a message to the entire basketball world that in Jordan's eyes, LeBron never moved right, he never earned the throne, and he never deserved the crown. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Jordan was right to keep LeBron at a distance, or is this just an old legend refusing to accept that someone might be better? Drop your take in the comments, because this debate isn't ending anytime soon. And if you made it this far, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into basketball drama, because trust me, there's a lot more where this came from. I'll catch you in the next one.